My name is Stan, and this is what I do. I look in the snow for 35 fucking hours. Ooh, ooh, pistol suppressor. Oh, I've already got a good one. Okay, never mind. Welcome. Who is your father, and what does he do? I need to get out. I don't belong here with no water. No. Oh, but he's gone. And it's gone. What are we doing? Let's see. Pistol suppressor. Ooh, fingerless gloves. Ooh. Let's see. Where are we at? What part of the day are we at? Later in the day. Thing I've ever seen in my life. Kudos to this guy. Oh, Jesus. Why? Ooh, it's not in good shape. That means once we get into the basically that means once we get into the car we can't get out. I don't have a close in gun. Really don't need this shit. Okay. Better ingredients, better pizza. I really don't. I really don't need to go into these towns because I've got the Mosin. The place that I'm going to isn't going to have like really I need a close in weapon because do I shoot that fucking deer? Probably. Yeah. Oh, battery. That's great. Well, I'm going in there. We might hit that. Well, here's the thing. You can eat the fat. You just can't eat the what's it called? You can't eat the other stuff. You can eat the fat though. What is it, 11? Come on. Really? Oh, okay. God. Okay. I have no idea how I'm going to get out of here, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. Oh, well. Gosh, they got fucking rickrolled. Ooh. Okay. We can make that work. Ah, okay. Here's what. Quick space saving idea number one. It's probably a terrible long-term idea, but yep, that. We'll take that. Ooh, is there yup, yup. Keep that shit there, brother. We're gonna grab a couple of spares. Grab that. Is there anything? Ooh, glow plug. Warren Mosen. Here, I'm gonna do. I'm an asshole. Okay. But no, that's better. It's a lot better. Well, I appreciate the efforts of these people. They really didn't build their base that great. I love a good base. I love a. It looks like they put some effort to this base. I'm not going that way. Hoping for a grenade launcher, but I have to poo. Not that you guys need to know that. Well, now I have a complete. Ooh, liner. Really was hoping for a. We'll see. That doesn't match because that's the tower, but the military's that way. That's the thing about that whole shooting situation is there are shots, but it's not where it's supposed to. I guess not where it's supposed to be. It's not where the military is. So I think we just keep going. What's this? It's worse. Hatchet? I don't really need one. Here's what we're gonna do. Is this damaged? Badly damaged, okay. Okay. Cool. 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 Any more? Where's that? No, one more. Damn, I had a lot of... With this, I'm not going to lug that around. I kind of want to keep the 308 just because if I get to the point where I get a boat, I could get a DMR and I already have the ammo. That, to be fair to those guys, that did look like an actual base. Like, that didn't look like a duper base. So, kudos to those guys for being real. I should have created a, I should probably create a water bottle suppressor with that bottle. I don't know. Blue in an Arctic environment probably isn't that bad. All things considered, blue, white, especially the shade of blue. It's kind of an icy blue. At first, I was like, yeah, this thing sucks, but... Alex, I'm streaming. Don't be racist.
I never am.
You're just saying that. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah? Where have you been all weekend?
I worked yesterday,
Oh, you did?
and then when I got off work, a friend of mine from college was like 45 minutes from my house, so it's like has like he races like go-karts and they race sprint cars and shit.
No, that's cool.
And I never have seen them do it. And they said they were like, they live like 3 hours from my house and they're only 45 minutes away, so I wasn't gonna pass up going and visiting with them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, they was on a little go-kart like dirt track,
Yeah.
and like they have like they're basically like Harbor Freight lawnmower engines with all kind of shit added to them.
Yeah.
Like, but they also had sprint cars there, but it's a go-kart track in my opinion. Like I don't know, like me and like another like I was under the impression that that track was way too small for some sprint cars. Like it was fucking insane.
There are
So I'm
some
talking
guys
about
that NASCAR used to race on it's like a quarter mile, like a quarter mile oval. Called it
this thing.
Bowman Gray Stadium, and it does. It looks like that those cars should not be driving on that, but they
This
do.
track didn't even have that big of a like steep embankment either.
Oh yeah,
I would get it with it. I would get it if it was like a Bristol, like a steep,
yeah.
because it's like a bowl. I mean, it's safer. But this track, I mean, it had some embankment, but not a lot. It was like a homemade redneck ass fucking track in the middle of the field. And them dudes getting in them sprint cars and just whee,
Oh yeah,
flying around that bitch. I was like,
oh yeah.
damn.
They go at it.
The little like, I don't know. I guess is that technically World of Outlaws or them little sprint? I think those are smaller. The sprint cars
They're probably about the same.
I've seen. You know what I'm talking about? The World of
Yeah,
Outlaws cars.
yeah. They're probably about. I would think they're probably about the same.
And as a kid, my dad and uncle used to play that video game, the World Outlaw video game, like all the time. And they watched watch it on TV and shit.
Like, hell yeah, brother. Raise hell, praise Dale.
I was just laughing because I know how like my buddy and his his dad helps him out and they like tune the cart and everything, and
Yep.
I was like, bruh, y'all just don't realize if like my dad was involved in this and me and my dad did this, like we would be trying to figure out how to cheat so bad.
Yeah.
As Evan explained, like, bruh, everybody back in the like glory days of NASCAR that was good cheated. Like,
That's true.
Like if you, like they've had like Darrell Waltrip openly admitting he's like, if you weren't cheating back then, you just weren't trying. Like everybody was. Just don't get caught.
Yeah. NASCAR is definitely different today than it was. Of course,
I bet
the
it's
sanctioning
impossible to
body.
cheat now.
Yeah, the
I
sanctioning
bet
bodies
you
made
can't
it that way.
You probably haven't been able to get away with bending the rules and getting kind of dirty in a decade. NASCAR, probably.
It's been a while. In a world where Joey Logano has 3 championships.
Back then, though, they would like do shit like I can't remember exactly. I've seen like videos where they talk about the things they would do to make like that was illegal to the cars and hide it during I can't remember exactly. Like I know there's one thing. There's a video where they're talking about Earnhardt like holding the car height up with his fucking foot or something.
Yeah.
While they're like measuring it.
I have a helmet. It weighed 50 pounds. I never wore it. They're trying to make the car make weight, and then they get rid of all the weight to make the car go faster.
Yeah.
I had a radio. That radio was made of lead. It didn't work. We took that out of the car and put the real radio in after inspection. You can't get away with that shit now. Because, I mean...
That weighed 50 pounds.
That helmet... I had a helmet. Weighed 50 pounds. I never wore it. A helmet.
Talk about shit like I wonder like in the Days of Thunder movie they're talking about shaving a little bit off the roll cage, like shaving it down.
Yep.
Put a bigger fuel line, like added a bigger fuel line to hold more fuel.
Smokey Eunuch did that for real. He had his he had his gas line built to where it was like twice the size of a normal gas line. So he got bopped for having a bigger gas tank. Well, what they didn't know is he went, all right, I'll make it. He had 3 square miles of tube. And it holds like an extra, I don't know, 2-3 gallons just in the line.
Jesus.
Yeah, those guys.
That's crazy.
Those guys are different, man.
I feel like that's dangerous.
Oh, it's definitely dangerous. If he caught fire, it was over.
That's dangerous as fuck.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of things. A lot of it's like, shaving the frame rail. That's not good. That's not good.
You're fucking with the integrity of your
right.
fucking roll
like,
cage.
you can't do that in a roll cage. You're gonna die. Yeah, it's rough. It's tough out there.
These motherfuckers are crazy.
There's no way you could get me to do what they do. I could race now because that car is so fucking safe compared to what these motherfuckers were driving 30 years ago. Those cars are so goddamn safe. Nobody dies. Nobody dies in NASCAR anymore.
Thank God, huh?
Yeah.
Well, they've got it down to a science at this point.
Every so often a Formula One guy will get his head taken off, right? Like every so often you'll hear that because they, the open, the open cockpit concept is
that's dangerous as fuck.
Has some flaws. They got that Halo device in there, but I mean, you get a piece of metal coming into your goddamn windshield. I mean, that's gonna kill you. You're going like 230 miles an hour. When Bill Elliott was driving for fucking was driving the 11 Ford for Budweiser in the late 80s. That guy went like 228 miles an hour around Talladega. They had an Indy car do the same lap. The Indy car went 232.
Damn.
Like these cars are not supposed to go that fast. They're not built for it. It's like throwing a brick down a fucking hallway.
I'd never realized that back in the day, like until I watched this documentary about like Earnhardt and like they talked a lot about restrictor plate racing and the difference in when they didn't have it.
Yep.
And I didn't know even until I watched that video or understand that the cars before the restrictor plates would run like 220.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
Well, what's his name? Bobby Allison almost went in the stands, and that's why they put the restrictor in 1980. It was like 1988.
Yeah, they showed that shit. They showed that on the video.
He almost went into the stands. And
talking about that would have been the end of NASCAR.
Oh yeah, there's no way. Oh, the insurance companies were fucking pissed.
They
were like,
literally, they would have never recovered.
Nope. That would have been it. Le Mans auto racing in the 50s, when that Le Mans car went into the stands and killed like 70 people, countries like just straight up banned auto racing for years.
Yeah, I've seen. How did they? Like, they must have been compacted like that, hitting a dense area.
Those guys are idiots. Those guys have dinner on the side of the track. You watch some of these fucks. You watch some of the old videos of those guys. The people are standing on the track like a bunch of retards.
And I bet there might be safer, like, you wouldn't want to be anywhere near a curve. That's for fucking sure.
It was either...
I don't want to be by the track.
It was either Davey's brother or one of the older guys took a Dodge Charger or Challenger to Le Mans to just do like laps. It was like a puff piece or some shit. Well, he comes around the corner and he's like, man, those guys are really close. People are like having dinner on the side. And Challenger's a big boy. I mean, that bitch go 200. You're pushing some air. So he comes around. He's kind of close to these people. He sees tables and chairs flipped over. You hear that hammer go, "Whoa!" And he goes, the next lap I come around, everybody's tables and chairs were a little further back. They went a little backwards. You think that whatever Hemi they had in there, you know that thing's going wide out.
Screaming.
Scotty's going, I'm giving her all she's got. And that was all she had. Those guys, I mean, it's amazing. Like, you read the history of, like, the 69 race at Talladega, and those guys were legitimately scared somebody was going to die because the tires couldn't handle it. And these guys are basically racing factory cars. Like, it's not... Yeah, there's roll cages and everything in them, some of them. But, I mean, there was no safety equipment. At 200 miles an hour, your helmet's not going to do shit. It's just facts.
You just died.
You just die. And NASCAR finally went, we can't keep doing this, guys. And I agree. I will say, I do agree there. We can't keep doing this, guys. We gotta give it a chance.
This cannot go on.
No, it's like, we can't keep doing this. And I get it. I 100% agree. Of course, NASCAR is in its own fucking issue with the fucking charters. They're having some...
like, prohibiting new people from getting involved in shit and, like, different comps.
Yeah. Well, it's... Michael Jordan is taking NASCAR to court. Because he owns that. He's part owner of 2311. And along with Denny Hamlin.
He's wanting to expand and get more cars or something?
He either wants to get more cars or... If they don't want to pay what they're having to pay. Those guys pay a shit ton of money for the charters. That car's worth $1
Right.
million.
And not just mechanically worth $1 million, like to pay them to have it on the track.
Yeah, it's well, how it was explained to me is so NASCAR, the corporation, keeps 10% of the profits. Okay, most of the profits go to the tracks that they have because it's like 1 or 2 races a year. They get 50%. The rest of it goes to the teams. But that's not including broadcast rights revenue. Like that's tallied separate. Whatever money they make for the race, 10% goes to NASCAR. Well, here's the thing: NASCAR owns half the tracks. ISC is NASCAR. Like they own it. So on, except for Martinsville and a couple other tracks, like all that Daytona revenue, NASCAR gets. All the Talladega revenue NASCAR gets because they own the track. So the owners are like, what? This isn't right. What do we're getting fucked. And Michael's got deep pockets. That dude could take him to court for a long time. He's got deep pockets and shareholders and friends in high places and fucking influence. And
Michael Jordan's involved in fucking NASCAR.
I can't believe it either. But you listen to him talk, and he just sounds like he's like, "Yeah, man, this is awesome. This is cool.
Like I just want in on this shit.
I just want to be in on this shit. This looks like a fun time." Like Joe Gibbs was a fucking football coach. Joe Gibbs has had a better career as an owner in NASCAR than as a football coach.
Yeah. You know how Michael Jordan is too. He's competitive as shit.
Yeah. That's the thing, though, man. Michael's got deep enough pockets. He could probably keep this charade going for a while. Because the last thing NASCAR wants to do is get
Bubba
deposed.
Wallace still drive for him?
Yeah. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think he's talented. He's got as much talent as I do.
He's just like highly publicized because of he's like black and he's last name Wallace.
I will say, I have nothing wrong with Bubba Wallace as a person. Like, I don't think there's any reason he shouldn't be able to compete, but be aware he doesn't have any talent. He's not talented.
Yeah, he can hate Kyle Larson all he wants, but Kyle Larson's fucking talented.
Kyle Larson's good. I've never seen a man do that before. Literally be racist, win a championship, win hearts and minds. That's wild. That's wild.
That man literally was racist.
That man was racist. Made a comeback.
John Gruden too. You seen John Gruden got hired by Barstool?
That makes sense though. Like Barstool's like, I don't give a shit.
Dave Portnoy's like, so?
He's racist, yeah. And?
No, I don't care.
He's funny when he's behind a fucking microphone. I wonder if you'd ask John Gruden now, like, hey, looking back, should you have just stayed in the booth? And just called games and made your money and... I do wonder if he had to do it all over again, would he? Probably not. Bresco, he'd probably just be like, "Hey man, I just won't commentate." It'd be John Gruden and Tony Romo calling a game. Come on, it'd be fucking funny as shit.
I don't know. I think he loves it too much to.
Some people are like that. Some people are like it's more than just the paycheck, man. I get it.
He wants to be in on that shit.
I get it. Some people, like Bill Belichick, if you put enough zeros in front of him, he'll coach again. we should start hearing about that. I mean, we're latter half of the season here. Should start.
Yeah. What if we see Belichick pop up in New Orleans?
I'm just Seattle. Um,
I could see it, and I'll say this, and this is why. New Orleans may have canned Dennis Allen, but
I don't think it was deserved. First of all, Dennis
there's
Allen getting
merit. There's
fired was not
there's
deserved.
there's merit in saying that makes sense to say that, but also I think that he deserved a little more time due to the injuries and things going on. And I think Derek Carr is kind of ass. But,
Yeah,
I think it was inevitable that, I mean, look, I don't think, if you think about 10 years or 5 years from now, he's not the long-term solution to that organization. At the end of the day, I think if it wasn't this season, it was next season or the season after. I don't think he sustains as the head coach of that team for very long. Now, like you said, I agree. I think it was premature, but in the back of my mind, I also think if you're thinking long term and you're playing the long game, I think eventually it was inevitable he was not going to make it. I just don't think that I just don't believe he would have made it.
do you go for a quarterback in the draft if you're, or do you try and just pay somebody?
I wouldn't reach too hard. I mean, I think what they do is I would like to think their decision making is because you're not guaranteed to pay somebody and they actually come. So I think if you can address your QB hole, your QB thing in free agency, you try
Yeah,
and maybe try to be aggressive, but it's no guarantee you're gonna get somebody.
yeah, that's true.
But even then you could get somebody, and the odds are they're gonna be kind of old, and you could draft a guy. But I just don't want them to reach too hard.
I think the Saints like dig their own grave sometime. They're so quick for the easy wins. Sometimes, man, you just got to sit there and fucking deal with it. Like
Well, they draft
like the
well.
Browns do. The Browns sat there and dealt with it.
But look, the Saints. One thing that's crazy about them, I don't know if they got the same people behind the scenes this entire time, but they draft well, and it wasn't just when they had Sean Payton. They've drafted well since he's gone. I mean, like they must have a good scouting department, and really the GM's not bad. A lot of fans around here want the GM fired, and like he's gonna retire soon. The Saints have had the same GM for 20 fucking years. Like the they were nothing before him. Like he has a role in them becoming relevant enough where people don't wear bags to their fucking games over their head. I mean, they draft well.
Did people actually wear bags over their heads to the game?
There's people who used to wear like brown paper bags over their head to Saints games and shit.
They're not that bad.
Like before Breeze and Peyton, they were literally like the Cleveland Browns. Like they never won like they had losing seasons like every year.
Damn.
They were literally awful. But they draft well, and I think that they hired an offensive coordinator, right, this year.
Yeah.
So them they hired a big name, kind of like a desirable offensive coordinator too. Like he was a guy that people were competing to get. He was on the staff at San Francisco, but you know he's really young. He's Clint Kubiak. His dad was Gary Kubiak, the Denver Broncos head coach when Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
So like he's a desirable OC, and he could potentially be the kind of guy that might be a head coach one day. So you could hire Belichick, keep that guy as your offensive coordinator, and then because
Have him learn.
Whoever hires Belichick, they already know that he's not going to be there very long.
Right.
That's just
You got 3 years.
he's gonna come in and try to point you in the right direction, then retire. That's literally if he's getting back into coaching, that needs to be his mindset. Like I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna try to, I want to come to a team that maybe could win one. New Orleans could get a better fucking quarterback. I mean, with the right coaching, they got a chance. They're not a favorite, but you can keep players healthy. They got a good O-line when it's healthy. They got Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed.
Chris Olave, the self-described New Orleans Saint.
They traded Lattimore for draft picks, so they got some more draft capital.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I think Belichick, if he does come here, I don't know. I think he may have been involved in why New England drafted so shitty. So in that regard, he needs to be humble about, like.
He doesn't want to draft superstars.
Well, I mean, he needs to. I think they did well in free agency. New England would sign some good players that fit his play style.
Randy Moss. Let's talk about some good signings. Yeah.
He needs to be humble about letting the scouting department do their fucking job, because New Orleans has a good drafting track record anyway. I mean, even the guy they drafted last year, they drafted an offensive lineman last draft, the first round. He's a fucking beast. He's a straight up fucking beast. Now, when he drafted him, everybody was like, well, who the fuck is that guy? But he's a fucking beast. You don't notice it because he's O-line, but he's
right.
He's a top O-line. Like, he's fucking good. But hey, there's only a few teams that is a good fit for Belichick, and I think New Orleans could be one. If you got the young guys on staff that you want to be your next guy when he's gone, and you got just enough talent to maybe compete, the NFC South's not that good. I mean, with Belichick and the change at quarterback, they could probably win the South.
Yeah.
But who knows? John Gruden might coach again.
That's an option.
I think I'd rather have Gruden than Belichick.
Yeah. I would think if you're going to keep Derek Carr, you put Gruden in there.
Because Carr had like one of his best career seasons under Gruden.
Or just have the guy be a QB whisperer. Just put Gruden. Say, hey, Gruden, you want to make a couple $1,000,000? You come in here, you talk up your boy.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable.
Deion Sanders' son.
Yeah. You just kind of, go through the process, man.
Yeah, Gruden, Belichick, the Lions offensive coordinator. I wouldn't mind having him. That dude can coach.
Yeah.
Dude can flat out fucking coach.
Well, I think you guys got options. The thing I worry about with KC is complacency. My issue is that we don't innovate and we get lapped. We go, this is fine.
Well, I mean, they're winning, so
that's true, and I hate that.
I hate. Broke, do not fix it.
I have a fear of the 5-year plan. Because somebody's got eventually you got to pay Patrick at the end of his contract. At the end of his 10 years, you have to pay him all of that money. We get to the 7th, 8th year of his contract, we're gonna have to let some fucking people go. I mean, it's great. It's great now. We're what, 3, 4 years into his contract?
And I don't know if he's going to pull a Brady. Patrick doesn't have a multi-million-dollar supermodel wife with more money than he has, so
yeah,
I don't see him taking pay cuts. Brady was thinking, Giselle makes more than I do. Like, I can take a pay cut and win.
No, well, that was like, that was what I hated about their ESPN's coverage of the whole thing. Oh, he's doing what's best for the team. No, he's not. He's still going to get all that money. He's just shimmying around how they're going to give it to him.
Oh yeah, I mean, which it was a gamble because he talks about. He's like, I mean, I knew I was gonna get my money regardless, you know.
Yeah.
What he means by that is, oh well, who's he work for? Fox? Was it Fox that hired him?
Yes.
Fox paid him an insane amount of money to be a fucking commentator, dude. He's making more money being a commentator than he ever did playing football.
Yep. Tony. Oh, absolutely.
That and like endorsements, you know, this whole time the endorsements he's made, money off endorsements.
Skechers, relaxed fit shoes.
Fucking shit like that. But yeah, and now he's part owner of the fucking Raiders.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That works. I guess you buy in and you just get a return periodically.
I would imagine it works kind of like how the Packers work. I would guess to an extent, because you could people can be part owner of the Packers. Like it's a more public deal.
Shares.
Yeah, you can buy shares in the Packers because they're still owned by Green Bay, like the municipality. They're not owned by like a person. It's not like a Jerry Jones situation, like most of them are. So there's like a board, and then they have the shareholders, and the majority shareholders get together and decide who gets hired and fired. I would assume they leave a lot of the smaller decisions to the staff, though. I would imagine. It'll be interesting. We have week 11 now. It's week 11, so we'll see. Let's see how it goes. It's snowing sideways in this goddamn map. It's snowing sideways. Oh. Mm-hmm. Gosh, bagosh, it's a brand new paperboy. They have Herbert kill the Nazi. Rest in peace, you bastard. Say goodbye. It's about to get too dark to fucking stream, but we'll do it anyway. Jesus Christ, turn the snow off. We'll see how this goes, boys. If I die here, it's been a pleasure. Oh, I need that. Tick-tock, hear the clock countdown. Wish the minute hand could be rewound. First week in the books, though, man. You survived week 1.
Yeah.
Look at that. I need to prepare.
Okay.
Oh shit!
I'll give them, I think we get evaluated every 6 months. So they don't throw me a fucking bone in 6 months, and I'll be like, alright. By then, my fucking old boss will have his shit together, and just be like, well, see y'all. Which I don't know if it'll look better if I made it a full year. As far as work history.
Good question.
But I've been really striving to be,
A leader in the community.
impactful.
Yeah.
I guess it's a good son. The boss is, in my opinion, I mean, like, he's coming around. I think he's thankful I'm there. He's been very, like, nicer to me the last, like, 2 times we worked.
Yeah.
But, overall, he's kind of a dickhead.
Kind of a dick. Yeah. How often do you see the guy?
Oh, I see him, like, I mean, he's out and about, like, amongst all of us every day. I mean, I see him periodic, like, every day. He's there. He's not, like, cooped up in the office or anything. He's out there the entire time. But he's just, could tell he's, I don't know, like, kind of maybe egotistical.
Yeah.
Know-it-all egotistical, in which he may have some knowledge, but he's just kind of
He's also getting paid like he knows everything. You gotta be aware of that.
And well, I heard some tea on the guy, and I don't know if it's true or not. And I don't even know if Calvin knows it or knows anything about it, but I heard some shit they were talking about amongst everybody. About he took a pay cut or something, and something like that to keep his position or something.
Really?
Because last job he was on didn't go well or something. So he took a pay cut because he didn't want to work as much. Like, he didn't want to work all the hours.
Yeah.
Because they intended to put him on a different project or something, and he didn't want to go there because he knew that it meant they were gonna have to work a lot, like a lot of overtime.
Right.
So he went to a different project where they felt that there wouldn't be a need to work a lot of overtime. They would easily stay on schedule, and I can tell you they're not on schedule. They're fucking way behind. And he's having to work overtime, plus he already took the pay cut, and he's still working all the overtime anyways. And they're saying that's why he's in a bad fucking mood all the time. And I'm like, well, I would be. But he's I don't know. Maybe a little biased. I'd be kind of hard on my dad sometimes, but I think watching my dad run jobs, I can already tell that he was pretty good at it in comparison. My dad would have this one farther along than it is. I mean, that's biased, but I think from what I've seen, it's just honestly true. Had someone approach me that works in that company. I guess he saw my last name in paperwork, and he's like, "Whoa, what is your dad's name?" I'm like, Steven? Like, I knew it. He's like, I worked with he's like, your dad was a superintendent on the same job as me, like, freaking 20 years ago. I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, oh, so back then
I just died.
when he had a kid, that was you, and you're here now. That's crazy.
Oh, I got killed by a dude with a DMR. That's great.
But the other day, the asshole boss, he's like, or yesterday, he's like, I swear he got mad because they keep fucking shit up, people that are on that crew, and He's like, I swear I'm about to just